Have you ever wondered why Tigress always seems like the coldest and strongest character in the Valley of Peace? Why does she rarely laugh, hesitate, or even allow herself to make mistakes? Everyone sees her as the perfect warrior, someone who never breaks. But if you look deeper, you'll discover something completely different. Tigress isn't strong because she never feels fear. She's strong because she spent her entire life hiding it. Tigress's story isn't just about Kung Fu. It's about a child who learned very early that the world would only accept her if she hid who she really was. When Tigress was young, she was different from the other children. Her strength was far beyond her age, and the people around her didn't understand it. Instead of helping her, they were afraid of her. She was isolated from the other children and treated as if she were dangerous. Imagine being a little kid and constantly being made to feel like you're different, unwanted, or even a problem. Eventually, one thought can grow inside your mind. Maybe I really am the problem. That's where Tigress's mask began. She decided she would never be the child who got angry, cried, or showed fear. She would become the perfect warrior, not because she wanted to be the strongest, but because she needed to prove that she deserved to be loved. Then Shifu entered her life. At first, Shifu was the first person who didn't run away from her. He helped her control her strength and taught her discipline and calmness. For a child who had spent years feeling rejected, having someone believe in her could mean everything. But there was also a painful side to their relationship. Shifu himself was carrying the weight of his past, especially everything that happened with Tai Lung. And without realizing it, Tigress began connecting her worth to Shifu's approval. If she trained hard, she mattered. If she didn't make mistakes, she would be accepted. If she stayed strong, she would never have to return to the life she escaped from. Training was no longer just kung fu. It became a way to survive. Every training session became another message to herself. I have to be better. I can't make mistakes. That's why Tigress wasn't only searching for strength, she was searching for her worth. And this explains her complicated relationship with Po. In the first movie, many people saw Tigress as arrogant and unnecessarily harsh toward him. But if you look at things from her perspective, Po represented everything she had denied herself. Po was carefree. He laughed. He made mistakes. He ate. He acted exactly like himself. And somehow, people loved him for it. Even more shocking, he reached a position that Tigress had spent years trying to prove she deserved. And that created Tigress's deepest wound. If he can be himself and still be accepted, then why did I spend all those years destroying the real me? Her anger toward Po wasn't simply hatred. It was anger at life itself. Anger at the unfairness of it all. Anger at a childhood she lost while trying to become someone else. Every time Po acted naturally, he reminded her of the little girl she had buried inside herself. But eventually, Po began to break through that mask. Tigress slowly started allowing her emotions to show. Her fear, her anger, her concern for her friends, even her vulnerability. And that was a huge turning point for her. Because Tigress had spent most of her life believing that showing emotions meant weakness. But she eventually discovered the opposite. You can love someone, worry about them, admit that you need them, and still be strong. Real strength isn't about refusing to cry. Real strength is not being afraid of your own emotions. And that is exactly what Po helped her understand. Po wasn't strong because he had no flaws. He was strong because he never tried to hide them. That was the lesson Tigress needed to hear all along. She spent her entire life trying to prove that she deserved to be the perfect warrior, while Po showed her that you don't have to be perfect to have value. That's why Tigress isn't just a cartoon character. She is a reflection of so many people. She represents the child who was told that crying is weakness. The person who learned that they have to please everyone to be loved. The person who smiles in front of everyone while hiding everything they're carrying inside. The person who constantly tries to be perfect because they believe that one mistake will make everyone leave. In different ways, we can all wear Tigress's mask. We pretend to be stronger than we really are. We hide our fear. We hide our sadness. And we convince ourselves that we have to stay strong no matter what happens. But there's a problem. The mask that protects you from pain can also prevent love from reaching you. And in the end, Tigress's real lesson isn't that you have to become the strongest person in the room. The real lesson is that you don't have to destroy the sensitive part of yourself to become strong. You don't have to be perfect to deserve love. And you don't have to pretend that you're okay all the time. Because sometimes the greatest victory you can achieve isn't defeating your enemy. It's finally allowing yourself to be who you really are. So if you ever feel like Tigress, if you're tired of pretending to be strong, remember this. Your worth isn't determined by how perfect you are or by the opinion of one person. Stop trying to prove that you deserve love and start believing that you deserve it without having to play a role, because the child inside you isn't your enemy. Maybe that's the part of you that has been waiting for you to listen all along.